Hey everybody, it is Brenda B. Bailey and my weekly Theta Power Hour. And as I always say, I interview interesting influencers and experts that always give us great information. So you definitely are going to want to like, comment, and share. And please tag anybody who you feel like, wants to be emotionally present and financially successful. I feel like that's what we're going to be hitting on. But you just never know in my collabs because we just kind of go with the flow here. So I want to, let me get back to my screen here, introduce to you my featured guest. So keep in mind, we're going to get some great nuggets of wisdom from Dennis, who has he's kind of come back on. It's all good. And now you're sideways, Dennis. Come on around. It's all good, guys. We look at that face that he just was making that it froze on. It was really cute. We will just be getting some great nuggets from Dennis. And then at the end, as always, we do a little bit of theta work, which bypasses your brain, your conscious and your subconscious, and makes changes at a cellular level. So let me introduce you to Dennis. So Dennis Pascal is an alignment strategist and consultant for women CEOs and leaders who are ready to take responsibility for their inner war, meet themselves fully, and create peace. The intention is to support them in aligning with their next level feminine leadership so they can increase their impact with ease. His profound skill set and expertise are a result of his professional education and a variety of holistic, leading edge healing modalities, personal life experiences, intuitive abilities, and hundreds of hours of working experiences with his clients in one-to-one settings, workshops, and retreats worldwide. Welcome, Dennis. You're muted, just so you know. So just because you guys
There we go.
hey,
Hi,
there.
Brenda. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So
Are
just
you
so
hearing me?
we can. So just so y'all know, there's a little bit of a teeny lag with Dennis because he's across the ocean from me, and he will tell you all that. Where are you, Dennis? Where in the world are you, Dennis? Tell them.
I am in Berlin, in Germany.
So he's in Germany. So we will have great grace with him and his lag because and I will just say, just close your eyes, ladies, and just listen to his amazing voice because I always say I love to listen to Dennis because I just want to hear him talk, right? So you're welcome. I'll just say that. So again, like, share, comment, tag when you start hearing because we're going to get started. And so Dennis is going to tell us a little bit more about himself and what is it exactly that he does, right? Because we heard his bio, but we're going to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Sure thing. Um, I'm Dennis Pascal, and I am an alignment strategist and consultant for women CEOs and leaders. And what I basically do is I help them remove mental load and take care of any form of emotional distress and overwhelm. I will figure out what the root cause is that creates the mental load and emotional issues in their daily life. And then in resolving that, I actually help these women to, first of all, create peace, to have peace of mind. And this way also to increase their productivity and their flow, which will then come from a much more sustainable place where it's less about pushing and trying to get past that overwhelm, but really from a relaxed inner state. And this also helps them to have much more pleasure and fun in their business and to actually up-level their impact and reach more people through that different consciousness. So we're also talking about increasing their abundance mindset, their abundance consciousness, which allows them to shoot way higher in their goal setting and also to attract more abundance back to them. And yeah, and really to lead from a whole different awareness, which is more connected to, you can call that divinity, the divine feminine, the universe, whatever's to you, to God. Yeah, that's what I do.
And I love a man that works with women because I think it takes a special guy. And I think that a lot of, comment and agree with me, ladies, if y'all are, because I feel like, especially when we're looking at our vulnerability as a woman, or we're looking at our productivity, it's nice to be able to do it with a male who feels safe, right? Because sometimes that's not always the case. So Dennis is definitely one of those guys. So Dennis, what do you feel like are the main struggles your clients are dealing with? And how does it show up? What does it look like in their business?
Sure. Usually clients come to me when they are hitting a crisis point. It could be that even though they are really successful at their companies and what they do, on the inside, they're really struggling. And no matter how much they push, there's this point where they know they have to just look at it. They have to face whatever is happening because it's preventing them from, going bigger in their companies. And this is where I come in, like, to give them a safe space where we can resolve that. These struggles show in, like I said, as mental load, as overwhelm, a lack to stay focused, but also in sabotage. So it could be that certain things don't work out anymore, or there's like a more struggle behind everything, and they just want to have more ease. They don't understand what is it inside of themselves that's creating all of that. And another phenomenon that I see or observe is that a lot of women, especially, they have really had to hustle really hard to, have a big company, to have this huge business. And it's taken, where they had to kind of get push past some vulnerabilities there to get there, especially in a world that's really driven, or was driven, by a lot of men and still is, push and reach that goal. And now, and this is also connected with the, I think, worldwide awakening journey or process that's happening. The old things that were ignored at one point, they're coming back, and all of it starts to be mirrored in their lives even more. And so they have to just wake up, basically. They have to face what they have been pushing aside all this time, because if they don't, their energy is not going to be on track with what's happening in the world and also where their businesses want to go. So that's, a few of these things that I see.
Yeah, I think that that's amazing, because the thing is that I think that that's what happens for a lot of women, and which is why they end up having a lot of physical, mental, and emotional challenges, because they're disconnected from their self, and where they spend most of their time, which, if you're an entrepreneur, it's in your business. Whether, you work only 20 hours a week, or you work 30 or 40 or 60 hours a week, it doesn't really matter. It's still a part of you. And if you're not you in your business, it ends up showing up, like Dennis has talked about. So he's so spot on with that. So Dennis, what is the solution? What's the option that you give people, right? These women, and how do you support them exactly?
Yeah. So one of my core zones of genius is that I make vulnerability something safe. That's kind of always been with me my whole life. Like, people, all kinds of people, it doesn't matter, men, women, how old they are, they would just tell me everything. and I mean, there's techniques that I've studied and learned. I offer them a safe space where they can, stop hustling, stop pushing, and just relax for a moment. And then I will gently guide them to open up and share what's actually really going on underneath the surface. And then there's a few things that I can do. So I will first of all help them to open up and connect with their actual emotions, because a lot of people, a lot of women have a struggle really in embracing their emotions, because depends also on how they grew up, obviously, but sometimes there's a real fear of being vulnerable, and also a lack of knowledge how to be vulnerable, because it's still something that isn't supported everywhere in the world. So I support them to actually open up and to feel what's going on and to process these emotions in a safe and sustainable, yet efficient way, I would say. Because I understand that they don't want to like dwell in it. They're just looking for a way to connect with themselves. This is where it starts. And then depending on what's necessary, I will either guide them to figure out what is the root cause on an emotional realm. So what is this experience today mirroring from way back when? Or I could go another way, which is I scan for their limiting beliefs. So one of the core genius gifts that I have is also that I'm an intuitive. So I can sense people's subconscious beliefs and patterns, and I can help them through theta healing, for example, but also other modalities, let them go, like release them instantly. And that helps also to like get out of that energetic, wacky state into more ease, more peace. And another component of what I do is I also can actually sense people's like suppressed parts. So with parts, I mean inner parts that are that were stuck in a different age. And I can sense how like the war, so to speak, between those inner parts is co-creating the struggle they have in their present life. And so by tapping into these parts, we will create a resolution, and this will again help them to move forward. So it's all about creating resolution, shifting the energies, shifting their limiting beliefs, and allow them to get to a level of peace, awareness, and inspiration again.
You know, Dennis, what I love about what you said, and I think that it's something that a lot of people don't realize, and this is not just a challenge for women, it's a challenge for men as well. But I have to tell you, I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to be vulnerable. And I remember when in this process, because this was many years ago, the man who I was working with, who was also very safe, he said to me, in your vulnerability is your true power. And that just did not make any sense to me. Like that sounded like no. In our, you know, in my childhood, being vulnerable meant being a target or being at somebody's mercy. So it's being able to, and there are many roads to get where we need to get, right? So when Dennis is, saying I use theta healing and I also do other techniques, theta healing isn't the only show in town, so to speak. It's just my favorite one. It's the one I've had the biggest impactful experience with. But I always say there are many roads to get us where we want to go. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when you know somebody who knows more than one road, you can have that experience and then decide for yourself, what's the road that works best for me? So that is beautiful.
Exactly.
Somebody can be able to offer you that experience. So Dennis, why is this important to you? I mean, what's your why, and how did you come to this?
Whew, yeah. I have to say, like, ever since this came to me, which is now about, I would say, a year ago, like every day I unfold, or the why unfolds even more. So I could have written a whole book about this by now, but let me just grab out like three, I would say, bullet points of my why. So the first is that I believe in surrendering into your vulnerability, you actually create an alchemical reaction, especially when the feminine energy, which manifests a lot in women, right? As it does in men as well, but some men are not yet so aware of that. When women can surrender to their feminine energy and into their vulnerability in the right setting, what actually happens is that it really activates those self-healing powers. And like an alchemical reaction happens and things get resolved. Trauma gets shifted and released in an instant. Things that were stuck suddenly flow again. And it's beautiful, and it's so exciting to watch that, and also what happens after that, because I think women are extremely wise and innovative and creative. The feminine power in itself is extremely creative and powerful. And once this energy can be unleashed, all these like genius ideas and downloads, they just come and come and come. And this is what the world needs. And this brings me to my second bullet point. So I'm seeing, I mean, it's obvious that the world is going through a shift in consciousness, and people are waking up, and the way that, you know, things have been done is no longer working because we've been damaging this world. And I think that what needs to happen is that the war between masculine and feminine gets resolved, because I know from my own journey, this is where a lot of issues created. You know, how was the relationship between daughters and their fathers, or you know, between sons and their mothers? Like, it's always in that balance of feminine and masculine energy, and how was the daughter supported to be in her feminine energy through her mother as a role model, and men by their fathers. And once this inner war can be resolved, I think this is where we actually can be true leaders, because we then can be aware of what's actually necessary in the world. We can totally shift paths and create a whole new way of doing business and changing this world to create peace and sustainable ways of living and so forth. And I think, because I'm a man and I can bring that masculine energy to the table, I can offer that space where women can actually resolve their wounded feminine and step into the divine feminine, which is really necessary to create those shifts that we need for the collective. And another thing is that in working with women who are at the top, you know, who are high-level business owners, once they can awaken to this new awareness and resolve things within themselves, everyone else that's part of their company and is consuming their service will be influenced by that too. So I hope and wish to create a ripple effect of, you know, healing by working with these women in these top positions, so it can just spread even more. And the third is, I really believe that the feminine energy leads masculine energy, and like feminine energy can be very triggering for the masculine energy, because throughout history we've seen that, you know, men have suppressed women because actually they feel their power. And so what I think is that more and more men actually should work on their own issues to be able to support women to be in their power, because once women can be in their true power, they have so much like solutions to provide and so much wisdom to share with the world. And a lot of the problems that we see again will be resolved so much faster. And I believe that women really are like the new leaders of this new planet that we're creating, and they need to be as empowered as they can be and supported as much as they can be supported to make that shift for us. So these are a few of the whys that I have.
So Dennis and the Dalai Lama feel the same way, that it's women who are going to change the world, right? He said it's
Yes.
the same. And, you know, that's the thing, is that you know, it's scientifically proven, guys, that men and women have two different brains. It's not that one is smarter than the other or anything like that. They're just different. Men are because of our DNA, men are very one track minded, one single thought, which is women are multitaskers. We can see, which, you know, there's the good and bad of both, but I feel like that when you can multitask, it makes you a better problem solver, because you kind of see it in different ways and see it multiply, right? Did I just make up a new word? I'm not sure. But it as a man, sometimes it's like on the straight and narrow. And I can be very masculine. I can be very much like that, just the one track minded. And so when we're looking at that, I think anybody and wanting to have that balance, it's so that we can have the best of both worlds. And it doesn't make one better
Yes.
than the other. It doesn't make there any type of, from that feminine perspective, competition doesn't exist.
No.
And
Yeah.
and that's what gets to change, because we're all in this together. Dennis just helps women, because I've been working, I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years. I'm pushing into 29.
No.
What I know is that we have to be able to do it differently. 29 years ago, there was only one way to do it, and it was in a very masculine way.
Hmm.
And then to be able to change and move to that more feminine perspective. And for myself, because I'm a woman, just be more feminine in it. It actually allows my company to be that way, because as entrepreneurs, we are our business. So when you can work with the head of an organization or the heart of the organization, however you want to look at it, it allows change for everyone. That happens in our families, that happens in our businesses. It
Yeah.
just happens. Is there anything else
True.
that
Yeah.
you want to add with that, Dennis? Do you have anything else that you want to piggyback on that, or anything else you want to add to? You don't have,
Yeah. I just want to comment on what you just. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Okay. I want to make a comment. Yeah, on what you just said, because that's another strength that women have. Like, they're multitaskers, and what I observe is that women have, with the feminine energy, I should say, because I also feel very connected to my own feminine energy, is really able to perceive things from multiple perspectives. And I think this is where women have so much more perception of what's actually sustainable and necessary, and how we can include everyone with their different talents and strengths and weaknesses, um, and how we can like rise as a collective. The masculine energy, which is also extremely important, of course, they both have their place, is really more about the goal, the goal, the goal. But sometimes reaching the goal is actually not in the highest and best for everyone. And as we're like growing together worldwide and we need change, we need the feminine energy who's able to perceive all these different ifs and what's at the same time, to then, pivot strategy and create one that actually has all of that together. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Well, and I think that what the genius of what Dennis does, ladies, is the good news is that you're a multitasker, and the bad news is that you're a multitasker. And a lot of times women will do everything because they can. And then we
Yeah.
get, with everything that Dennis has been talking about, then we have all of these other challenges. And it's nice to be able to have a fresh set of eyes from a different perspective that can help us to do it differently.
Yes, and you know what? There's also a thing about feminine energy, because feminine energy is attractive, and the way your business manifests for you is based on your energy that you bring into your business. And sometimes, I had that in my own life. I was hustling and doing so many things, and nothing would work out because my energy wasn't right. And same with my female clients. Like, it takes just a few shifts here and there, and suddenly they can do way less and achieve way more, because their energy is now on track, their beliefs are corrected, and we are no longer trying to push beyond a wound that wants attention, like right now. And this is where business gets to be so much easier, so much more smooth and fun, because you can do less and achieve way more and have much more impact through that, aligned state.
I love that. So we're going to do a little bit of theta work, and what I want to do is I will do some, and then if Dennis wants to add to it, piggyback, however it will, we will absolutely welcome whatever input that he has with this, because since it's not very rare, but it's not often that I get to have a fellow theta healer on board with me in my co-live, so I don't have to do everything. Again, I've learned my lesson. I will let Dennis uh, help, participate, support in that, and then at the end he will let you know like how you can get in contact with him if you'd like. So I just took a few notes. I know it looks like I'm not paying attention, but I am, because I'm taking notes while he was speaking. So just a reminder, the beautiful thing about theta healing is that it bypasses the brain, the conscious and the subconscious. Most people will approach solving something from their brain. So just spoiler alert here, how you created the problem, which is in our brain, typically is not where you're going to find the solution. If somebody hasn't said that out loud, I just said it to you. Take note. And please tag, like, or share, comment, let us know. And I know Dennis will be right back, so we will just keep going. Hopefully, he will be right back. So here he is. Yay. So I always make sure that people have 3 beliefs in place before we get started. I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. Also, let's throw a 4th one in, that it's possible to have quick and easy changes with theta healing. You need to say yes out loud in order to get the work, because of course, if you don't want it, you don't have to. But if you do want it, you need to say yes out loud and yes in the comments below. And again, if you're watching the replay, you get the work on the replay as long as you do the same thing. Say yes out loud and yes in the comments below. So let's go ahead and change those 4 that I just talked about. Again, Dennis will be coming back on and off with his connection, but it'll be fine. So if you would like, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and instant healing is possible. And it's possible for theta healing to give me quick and easy changes. Just say yes out loud. Just say yes. I think as people, I will just say as humans, we need to forgive ourselves for not understanding the piece that vulnerability has in our lives and in our business. And we need to forgive those that prevented us from being safe in our vulnerability. So whether that's ourselves, other human beings, God, whoever you believe to be your divine power, if you would like that, just say yes out loud. Just say yes. Okay. Let's change what prevents us from safely increasing our flow with a sustainable state. Let's change what prevents us from having pleasure and fun in our business and our lives. Let's change the obligation, which means no choice, of possessing a mental overload. So let's change what prevents us from having peace of mind. Let's also change what prevents us from doing the things that work for us. And let's see, I want to do 2 rounds here. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that. I got to mark where I'm at here, and then we'll do a second round. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud and in the comments below. And then let's also change what prevents us from being vulnerable and powerful. Let's prevent us what allows vulnerability to empower us. Let's change what prevents us from having femininity and vulnerability in our business and in our lives. Let's change the obligation, again, that means no choice, to hustle and push to make things happen. Let's also change what prevents us from doing less and achieving more. And then we'll do one more after that. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud. Typically my guest, my featured speaker, my featured guest prompts us, but I know got a little bit of lag, Dennis, so I won't have you do that. It's all good. You get to just say it to yourself. There you go. You get to say it out loud. We don't get to hear it. Yeah. And then let's also change what prevents us from connecting with our divine power, and then allow your higher power, your divine power, to download you what your divine power feels like, what your connection with the divine power feels, your divine power feels like. So if you would like that, just say yes out loud. And in the comments below, guys. Okay. Is there anything that you want to add or piggyback on, Dennis? Feel free.
Yeah, I'm getting one thing. Could we release the belief that showing vulnerability leads to ridicule, betrayal, and rejection, and change that to Creator's definition of vulnerability, which is you allow the light of consciousness to enter a place that's been hidden from the light before, and thereby you integrate another part of yourself into the whole, so you actually establish wholeness within. So if you want that, just say yes out loud or type it in the comments. Can we also download that every part of you, every part of your vulnerability is completely valid, has a divine right reason to exist, and has its purpose and its important message and information for you, and thereby can be fully loved and accepted? Do you want these?
Yes.
Thank you. And can we release the belief that vulnerability is something bad or is weakness, and replace it with it's safe to be vulnerable, and I can be fully attuned to, heard, seen, and understood? Do you want these?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I got. I'm just gonna, for everyone who wants, I'm gonna send unconditional love to them. If you want to receive that, just say yes.
Yes. Spoiler alert, he doesn't need your permission. He's going to send it anyways. Just saying.
All right.
Thank you, Dennis. I think it's so funny I said that, but it's with the theta healing, it's such a respectful modality that again, you have to say yes in order to receive the work. And but unconditional love is the one thing that we get to do that we don't really need your permission. But of course, in this setting, we're going to ask for your permission. But I just wanted to say that because I think it's funny, just to let you know. What I loved also about having Dennis, there's no mistake, and when people come on to be interviewed for me, is to have an experience with a different theta healer and to hear about how they're implementing it in their business as a coach, as a consultant, as a strategist, as an entrepreneur. So just to segue into just a reminder, I am doing a 5-day free activate your inner money magnet. I call it a vibration elevation because it's meant to be simple and easy and beautiful. You can attend live or you can catch the replays. And if you'll commit to 5 hours that week, either attending at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time for it live, or like I say, you always get the work, whether you attend live or replay. I love to show people what can change in 5 hours, what can change after 1 hour, then after 2, then after 3. I love that because theta healing works so quickly and so well. And it is so beneficial for any coach, consultant, or strategist. So I really love to bring people to help them raise their vibration, but also raise the field that they play on, so to speak. And so that was just beautiful to be able to have both of us do the work so that people could have that experience. So Dennis is going to tell you his free offer and how to get a hold of him. Take it away, Dennis.
Yes, we'll do. So if you're interested in having a conversation and just maybe have a space where you can express yourself, if you're interested in getting hands-on support, I want to invite you to check out my website. It's www.dennispascal.de. And on that website, you will find the Apply Now button where you can actually sign in and get a complimentary consulting session with me personally. And we will talk about what's going on in your life, in your business, and where you feel you're stuck or just need support. And then we'll take it from there. So if you want to have that conversation, just reach out and I'd love to hear from you.
And, what have you got to lose? Just a little bit of time on a discovery call. I promise it'll be a great situation for you to participate in that. If you want to know a little bit more about what Dennis does and how he can help you. Dennis, thank you so much for being my guest this week.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
And I also want to let y'all know, because it's same time, same place, we do it every Wednesday at 1 p.m., that I will be featuring Dr. Kim W. Martin, and we will be doing the 3 shifts needed to make an impact. So it's always a beautiful piggyback on, usually it feels like every week we're piggybacking off of something that was discussed or healed the previous week. So it's always really beautiful. All right, everybody, please make sure that you comment, that you like, tag somebody that you feel like that would benefit from this, and please share it. And so we'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.